Hello everyone, we have made it to see another beautiful day and another reaction video. But before we get started, I like to invite all my new people to subscribe to this channel. My name's Shaneria. We do reaction videos over here. And if you are returning, you know how we like to do it. We like to get straight into the tea. So let's hear this reaction video today. Let's be mellow and calm. And let's see what this video has in store for us. Let's get started.
Really nervous about posting that, but I posted it and I closed my phone. I didn't get anything. I was like, oh, look tomorrow. I'm so blown away. Thank you so much for all the comments. This is gonna be a really vulnerable time for me, but I really think that someone needs to hear this. This is probably gonna need to be in a couple of parts. But as a lot of you know, most of you know, if you don't know me, I'm a tanner. I make country music, and I was adopted. The things that I knew were that I was born in Lexington, Kentucky. You know, a lot of the things I didn't know until much later, but I found out as a teenager that I was the product of an affair, that my birth mom had a husband and kids, and when he was deployed had an affair and kept me and placed me for adoption. I was adopted by a family that had already adopted 2 boys, so my older brothers, and were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or the Mormon Church. That in itself is like a whole other story, but I was always very different especially from my adopted mom. I really felt like nobody understood me, and I just wanted to know why I looked this way, why I loved to dance and sing, and it felt like sometimes I wished that I had a mom that I really related to. I think this is something that is hard to understand unless you have experienced something like this, or especially if you're adopted, that there's always a little bit of feeling abandoned and like you were given away, like maybe you're not worth as much. I struggled with that. I really struggled with that. And I love painting my nails, doing my hair, doing my makeup in my bedroom. And my adopted mom is, we have an amazing relationship now, but it was not easy for a long time. And I always say I'm like Free People. She's like Ralph Lauren. Like, she would agree. But there were a lot of times that I just felt alone, and I would go to this place and envision what my mom, my birth mother, looked like and smelled like, and that was a safe place that I would go. I didn't know much about my birth family or their situation, or my birth mom's situation, and it always scared me a little bit. I just had these dreams of when I would finally meet her and find out, you know, who she was. I always saw my friends, my girlfriends, you know, as a teenager, having friends that were so tight with their moms. It was like so obvious, and I knew that there was just something different, and some sort of like chemistry, just some sort of biological connection that I didn't have, and I wanted that. So, and I'll probably stop this video right here. One year for Christmas, when I was like 17, maybe, my parents got us all, I have 4 siblings. We're all adopted, none of us are like blood related. They got us all ancestry DNA kits for fun, to see where we came from, you know. And then I'm just gonna...
I'm glad she's telling this story, because it gives people an idea of what your decisions can do to a child, you know, you decide to keep or decide to have but give up. Like, it opens up a lot of people's eyes of you making a choice, one crazy choice, no matter what type of choice it is. It's going to not only affect you, it's going to affect that child and the person that you are hurting in the long run. It's just going to be a whole bunch of chaos in the long run. So I'm glad she's giving her story so it can open up other people's minds to like, oh shit, like, I don't want to do anything crazy that's going to affect other people because of my decisions in the long run. So, and the adopted parents, I feel like a lot of times they don't connect with the adopted child because, for one, like, that child already knows something's thrown off. That child already feel like, oh, I don't look like them. You know, the family don't have the same interests as me. They feel something. And for the adopted kids that know that, oh, they don't belong to this family, as in like blood related, like, they start acting out, or they start pushing away from those people that were willing to love them and take them in. So it's kind of hard on both ends. But yes, I'm pretty sure she appreciates, just like she said, she appreciates her adopted parents, her adopted mother. And I am grateful that there are people out there that is willing to take care and love and cherish someone else's child, someone else's blood. Because without y'all, these kids would definitely be lost. And I've seen a lot of success out of people adopting children that need a home. So yeah, let's continue.
So picking up where I left off, me and all my adopted siblings got ancestry DNA kits for Christmas, and all of my like DNA came back, and I just was, you know, there wasn't any like family connections made, and there was nothing like too crazy. So I deleted the app, and you know what I mean, I felt like I know where I come from now, cool. So I deleted the app. I didn't even know that it was connected to my email. I feel like I didn't even know that I had an email. I'm gonna go back just to before that for a little bit of context. I tried to find my dad on Facebook. I had known his name because when I was 16, I got a birthday present from him, and I didn't know, that's a whole story too, but I didn't recognize the name, and my adopted mom told me who he was, so I knew his name. So I went on Facebook and I searched him up and found a guy that I thought was him from just a few pictures that I had seen, and I literally just sent a friend request, nothing else. And like 2 minutes later, he messaged me and was like, I've been like waiting for you to turn 21. You're not 21 yet. Like, that was when your parents and I agreed that like I could contact you. I found out he had been living like not even 40 minutes away from me basically my whole life. At this time, I think I was really young. I just never, it wasn't anything that I wanted to pursue really. It was like we would catch up a couple times a year, but I didn't meet him. So by this point, I had deleted my ancestry DNA and I had found my dad, and now I'm like a few years later. This email from Ancestry DNA just said that I had a message waiting for me from someone. He said, hey, my name is blank. I'll say Joe. Hey, my name is Joe, and I think you're my sister. And by this point, I had known from finding my dad that, this was information that I didn't find out through my adoptive parents, and maybe I wasn't supposed to like fully know about, but I had known from talking to my dad that there had been an affair. And I think actually one of my brothers, one of my adopted brothers, also had told me that he remembered when he was younger that there had been an affair, and I was that baby. So it wasn't like absolutely shocking to see a message like that. I just was like, oh yeah, like I remember hearing that I had like half siblings out there, and he left his phone number, and so I texted him, and oh my gosh, we should do a video together so you can hear his side of the story. It's crazy. It turns out he had been looking for me for most of his life and had tried literally every DNA test that he could get his hands on, and Ancestry DNA was the last one left that he did, and finally found me. So we got on the phone and we're like, I had never seen someone that looked like me, and so we're sending pictures of like our hands to each other. I was like, we have the same hands. And so I was like, are your ears really small? His ears are so small. And I was like, oh, my ears are so tiny. Like all these little things. He was like, do you have a freckle on like the inside of your, is it my right or my left? I think it's my left. Of your right thigh. And he was like, we all have it. Like it was like amazing. So we started just looking at our family tree together, and we're looking at it, and there are these things called centimorgans on Ancestry DNA, and basically they're just like Ancestry DNA's way of giving you numbers that tell you how like related you are to a person. So the higher your centimorgans are, the like more related you are to them. So we're looking at our centimorgans and realizing that they're like pretty high. Like I don't know the specifics, but like half siblings are like 2,000 centimorgans. Like your uncle's like 600 centimorgans. It's kind of like that. And we were like past 3,000, which is weird. So we're looking at our family tree, and my brother notices that we share an uncle on his dad's side, his dad's brother. So my birth mother's husband. And we just kind of sat there, and it's really all a blur, but realized that we were full siblings somehow. We assumed that my birth mother must have already been pregnant with me by her husband before she had an affair, and mistakenly assumed that I must have been from this other man. So obviously, the first thing that I asked was like, do you think she knows? Like, what is this gonna be like? What is happening? Can I meet her? Does she know you found me? Like, what's going on? I'm at 7 minutes, so I'm gonna do part 3.
Wow. So basically, her and her biological brother, after pulling all of this stuff up on Ancestry and figuring it out together, like, they way more kin than they thought. Like, their score so high that it's basically saying, like, y'all got the same father and mother. I wonder, did her biological mother know that it was, like, she couldn't have known? Because if she did know, why would she decide to keep the other children by her husband but then give her up? So she had to think that it was the man that she wasn't supposed to be fucking with. She had to think that, like, there's no way around it. I feel like she thought it was the other man's, but why wouldn't she get a test done when the child is born? Like, was she trying to hide the child from her husband? Okay, let's continue.
This is part 3 of my adoption story. And this one's gonna be the hardest. So picking up where I left off, my first question was, does she know that you found me? Do you think she knows about that we're actually full siblings, that she didn't need to give me away? That's when he told me that she'd passed away 5 years before he was able to find me.
This part right here is like crazy, because my grandmother wound up, giving one of her children up for adoption, and they literally found her like after my grandmother passed, and my grandmother was yearning to like meet her daughter and finally be able to talk to her daughter and explain to her daughter herself, but she passed away before even like finding her. So, oh my God, her cry, like, it goes out to so many other people that have experienced having these negative thoughts in their heads, feeling depressed because they feel like they wasn't good enough, like all the above. My heart just hurts for her, but at the same time happy that she finally got answers that she needed.
At the time, I was very shy. I had just now met my full brother, and I was very composed on the phone. That was it. And I moved on, and I just asked for pictures. So I've never seen her. I just want to know what she looks like. And he sent me this picture. My jaw dropped. Just how beautiful she was, and I immediately said, she looks like Dolly Parton. And he said that she got that all the time. And she loved her blue eyeshadow. And this sent me in. I kind of went into a spiral, and a deep dive on Dolly Parton. I tried to find everything that I could about her, in every interview, any movies that she had been in, all of her performances, and I knew about her and her biggest songs, but I really became a Dolly Parton fan, and it felt like it was the only way I could see my mom alive. It was like a live version of her. I learned so much from her in that time, and something that really stuck with me was the first song, and I didn't know this, the first song that Dolly Parton had that kind of broke her career. I think it was like her first song on the radio, and it was called Dumb Blonde. She basically just saying she's gonna have the last laugh and don't mind me, I'm just a dumb blonde, when she was outsmarting everyone. Now, I've always had these big natural streaks of blonde in my hair from the sun. Even as a kid, when I was really little, people would ask my parents if they were dyeing my hair, because my hair's so blonde when I'm in the sun a lot. I didn't know how big a piece of my identity the color of my hair was until I moved to Nashville, and I wasn't at the beach a whole lot anymore, and I started seeing my roots growing. But it felt like I was losing some sort of connection to my mom. After seeing these pictures of her, she was so blonde. And after seeing these pictures of her and how obsessed I was with watching Dolly Parton, it felt like this little connection that I had to her, that came from her. And then I saw a little bit of her in the hair that was growing out of my head. That was hers. And I could not stop thinking about Dumb Blonde. I was like, damn, I wish I wrote that. But I started to realize how blonde hair felt like protection, like from my mom. It felt like she's there with me. And that was when I was like, oh, I'm going blonde. I made my first ever hair coloring appointment. I got my hair done. I went blonde. And it gave me this idea to write a song that sounds like it could be fun. But instead of, blondes have more fun, and blonde is like this symbol of like, it's a bombshell blonde and sexy, that it would be the inside reason, my introspective reason of why I try to keep my hair as close to those pictures that I've seen of my mom. Well, about a year before I wrote Going Blonde, I had a very discouraging phone call with someone who was attempting to manage me at the time. They had called me drunk, calling me a shit songwriter, telling me that I couldn't write my own music, and telling other songwriters around town that I needed people to write songs for me. That was also crushing, because I had been writing songs since I was 8. And I thought this person had more experience than me, so I should listen to them. And I didn't write a single song for a year. I didn't write anything myself. I was scared. And I had this idea for going blonde, and I just was thinking, who should I write it with? Who should I write it with? When I didn't need to write it with anybody. It was just me and my mom. I think she was there. And I can do a whole story time on how I wrote it, because I've never written a song like that before in my life, and it's never happened again. It was the weirdest thing, how this song wrote itself. I wrote this 4 years ago, and I didn't know if I would ever want anyone ever to hear it. But I'm realizing that there's a lot of people that have lost someone and try to keep anything they can to keep them close to them. And that's really what this song is about. So I think I'm ready. And I want this, I want people to know that you're not alone, and it's okay. It's okay to grieve. So, I'm gonna be releasing Going Blonde this Friday. Was for me, and now it's for you. Thank you, you guys.
Jesus. You can tell. Whew. You can tell she got so much passion in her voice. You can tell that she feels her mother's spirit. You can tell that this song that she made makes her feel better when she listens to it. Like they say, you make the best songs when it has a meaning to it. And a lot of people literally listen to her song. Like, y'all have to go and check it out. Remember, down in my description is where I be having their TikTok handles at. Y'all go check out her song. Go check out her page. OMG. This is why you should not do anything that later on will affect other people. Not only you. Your choices, your bad choices, any choice you make in life, especially when you're bringing a family, kids into the picture, and also your significant other, will not only dramatically change their lives, but it will also tear it down depending on the decision. This decision that her mother made by stepping out on their father caused her to feel ashamed and give her biological child up, and then later on pass away, coming to find out after that biological child start researching their own stuff, realizing that the guy that her mother stepped out with wasn't even her father. Her father was a guy that her mother married and had other children by. So this innocent young lady was crossed in the fire. She was in the middle of a fire she never damn started, and now her heart is broken. Her heart is broken. So I'm just happy she did find her biological family. I'm happy that the truth came out. I'm happy that she's getting to know her brother. She don't go into details, not that I know of her biological father, the husband, but like, wow, you can hear the hurt, the passion, the curiousness, all of that in her voice. Y'all drop down in the comment section what you think about the story. Don't forget to subscribe and join the family. If you made it all the way to the end and you hear my voice, hit that subscribe button and join the family. If you are new here and you just returning to get another reaction video, you know how we like to do it. I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace.